Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. We are working on making a wreath this week for our mystery case challenge. So you can make your wreaths for any season, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Today I am going to make a holiday wreath card, so for Christmas holiday. I'm going to use today the Peaceful Boughs stamp set and the coordinating Beautiful Boughs die. Okay, so as you can see, I've already die cut this shape out of, I used shaded spruce and I used mint macaroon. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Shaded spruce and mint macaroon. I've started with a Whisper White thick card. I've cut it the long way, scored it and folded it in half. I've taken another panel of thick Whisper White and embossed it with Tasteful Textiles just to give it a little bit of texture. And then I've cut it so that I'm going to have a 1/4 inch gap between my pieces all around, so 1/4 inch on the edge, 1/4 inch down the middle, and then I want to make it look like a front door. Okay, so I'm going to put that on like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. So I think I am going to go ahead and pop them up on dimensionals, and then I'll build the front door panels. So when you guys are thinking about wreaths, right, really you can do any season. I know a lot of times we think about wreaths as maybe the holidays, but I made a Thanksgiving wreath, right, out of the Hello Pumpkin set a few weeks ago. So that was a fall wreath. I know we make wreaths for springtime. So any kind of season or occasion that you want to make a wreath card for, you can be crafty and do that this week. Alright, so let's see if I can get these panels on here. I suppose I should use my grid paper to help me. So I'm just going to put this one down, put this one next to it. So I'm lining up those bottoms, and then I'll go ahead and just put a gap between these, that one above and the last one on like this. If my fingers and eyes didn't fail me, they will line up more or less like the front panels of a door. Okay, so now I want to create my wreath that goes around. So I've picked 2 colors. I'm going to alternate the sprigs. So if you kind of think about it like this, since I have 8, right, I need 2 to make a quarter of the wreath, right? So 2, and then I'm just going to keep layering them, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So let me go ahead and get some glue dots onto these, because that's going to be maybe the easiest way to build, is to just put them down on top of each other with glue dots. So now usually I do a little dry run through of the project before I decide to shoot a video, but this one is just kind of shooting from the hip. So we'll see how it turns out. Sometimes you just have to make a card before you really get the hang of what you were shooting for. And your next one can be different, or you can always, before you adhere it down, you can change it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a dark one. Okay, and I've put them kind of down by the base, so that way I can kind of tuck things behind if I want to overlap them. But I'm just going to go ahead and start right there. Alright, so here we go. So I'm going to come around. And like I said, I'm just going to alternate my colors. Oop, I got a stick. So I'm just kind of letting that stem kind of dictate the way my next bough is going to go on. I think I might just make it. Let's see. And then this last one will kind of come between the 2. And I can move this one over a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to push all those down. What do we do? More or less a circle? Yeah, more or less a circle. I suppose I could adjust a little bit if I'm careful pulling them up. Once they're down and pressed in, they're not really going to want to give too much, but I'm going to make a little adjustment to that one. Okay, so now I only put those down with kind of like one glue dot, and you can see that one is kind of wiggling around. So I'm going to take another glue dot and I rolled it up and then I just kind of put it behind. So you can do some extra adhering if it's a little too wild, right? You don't want it to catch when people are taking it in and out of their envelope. You want it to be secure and not be in a million pieces. So let's see, maybe? Yeah, maybe. Okay, so that was pretty simple. I'm happy with that. So let's see, I've got these wonderful gems, which are red, and then I've also got this double-stitched satin ribbon, which I've already tied into my bow. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut off my ends here so that they're the same length to start with, and then we'll see if we want it shorter. Okay, so here's my bow. I think that's maybe the prettier side. And if I put that on, I don't know, right at the bottom, seems a little too square. Off to the side, I think I like it off to the side. Alright, so that is going to get added with a glue dot as well. I'm just going to have mine a little off to the side, and there we go. I like it. Let's see, that looks a little bit long. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a trim. Better? I think that's maybe better. Alright, so that's pretty basic. I think I'm going to skip the gems. You certainly could add them, but I think I'm going to skip them. I think I like it just simple. Greens and the red on the white door. Okay, so let's add a sentiment to the inside. I got the shaded spruce ink out, and like I said, I'm using Peaceful Boughs, so I've got the sentiment from that. So I'm just going to open this up, ink up my stamp. Ooh, that's messy. Okay, don't rock and roll it. And stamp this down. Good. Alright, and then let's do an envelope. Okay, so there's the card. I'm going to stand it up so it can dry for a second. So I'm going to bring out the envelope. I think I'm just going to stamp one of those bows right on my envelope. So I'm just going to put it on the other side of my block there. Pull this one off. Clean that in a minute. Here's my envelope. So I'm just going to stamp my bow right there. So there's my card and the envelope, right? And our first wreath project. Okay guys, so I hope this inspired you, right? Now if you don't have wreath dies, maybe you have a punch that has wreaths, or maybe you have a retired die that was with flowers and you could use the leaf and kind of work your own wreath around it. Or use stamps, right? You can certainly use stamps or use any shape you want. You guys could use flowers to build a wreath. So just be creative, have fun. Don't let it overwhelm you. It's about having fun and being creative and using what you have, okay? Remember to shoot your photos and then send them to me by email so I can share them on the show and tell. And I hope you have a great week. All right, everybody, go stamp. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.